It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Oh, got to push the button. I'm sitting here playing on the computer. Sorry. Sierra's warning me. You know, the one thing that I was doing is I'm trying to find the YouTube. I just got it, and I got to cue it up for the next time. But there is a scene in Spaceballs, the movie, if you guys remember, it's a spoof on the Star Wars. And what it did is there was a part in there, they're going, well, we got to find the bad guys. We got to find what was his name? What was the head guy's name? Whatever, Luke Skywalker guy. And Bartholomew, played by John Candy. What happened, there was a part where they went and they got Spaceballs, the movie. Oh, it's latest technology. You know, they make the movie as you're doing it. Okay, so he gets Spaceballs, the movie, and he puts it in the VCR, and they're looking at it on the computer screen, and all of a sudden they're going, when did this happen? It's happening now. Well, when is now? You know, so it was an interesting take on what I'm trying to, and I'll play it here later in the show when it'll be appropriate, but the point that I was trying to make with that is that, you know, you make the news and the movie as it's happening. They already have templates ready to insert certain things that are distracting or program you to a certain end game that they want, where they want you thinking. Because it's always, I'll give you an example, the axis of evil. There's always three. You always have three things going on, three bad guys. Think about it. You had Iraq, Saddam Hussein. You had Iran, Ahmadinejad. Then you go, who's number three? Osama bin Laden. Okay, that was three. And then as he's kind of gone away, then there's North Korea, Kim Jong-il. You know, we're going, we got three. You always got to have three. America. Heck yeah. Team America. So I always look in threes for what's going on, but then you got to find what should have been number one. What's the fourth thing? What's something that they're distracting you from? One thing that we brought up yesterday with the gentleman from Saudi Arabia is he was really emphasizing the link to oil. He goes, look, we have a long-term relationship for at least next 50 years. We're going to be oil. You got to love us because of oil. And I'm going, you know, what if the oil went away? What if that wasn't an issue? What if you ran out, which I don't think is likely, but what if you come into competition with something else? Then what? What's our relationship based on then? You don't want to talk about that. Well, there's a bunch of news coming out. We'll go over some of the stuff. New energy generation. I mean, it's, big stuff. Large power plants that can be scaled down into being in your home. And it uses powdered nickel and some guy, blah, blah, blah. We had, the story up. Now, it is based on the concept of cold fusion. But what a lot of people don't know is it's being ignored as much as possible right up until they're heating entire factories in Italy and Greece right now. That they did a press release on this over, it was probably a month, 6-8 weeks ago, that they had a demonstration. They're going, look, here's the machine right here. Here it goes. We're, making heat, doing it. See it sitting right there. Been doing it for 2 years. It's all good. And they go, oh, no, that don't mean. He goes, yeah, well, you say that, but guess what? This company over here is getting a gazillion megawatt factory that we're building right now. We have smaller ones that we're shipping right now. We have a mass production of these units right now. You think we were waiting on you? We think we were waiting for you to say we got venture capital and it's already done? Power being generated by cold fusion, not later. And they're selling the machines not later. Now what? Now what? This is the thing. I remember we had a conversation with Frosty Wooldridge. Every now and then I have him come on. He writes for Freedom's Phoenix and all over the internet about, it links immigration and population growth with America's ability to survive, whatever. And it always comes down to the Earth has a limit of sustainability for humankind, so we got to, trim it down, do something, whatever. That's interesting conversations. But the point is that I always bring it up. I go, what happens when technology triples our efficiency or quadruples our energy production? What happens then? We have a story about LEDs being able to be mass-produced even cheaper. That's one thing. Robert Anderson, he's one of the fuel supervisors for the changing out of the fuel out at the nuclear power plant Palo Verde out here, and he's been one of my best friends for decades. He's now, within a couple of years of being able to retire. He lives 10 miles past the nuclear power plant, totally off-grid, not even on electric. He has solar, battery backup, wind generation, propane, diesel, his own deep well. He has septic, satellite communications, and cell phones that are totally off-grid in his little 8-acre, we call it moon-based Bob, okay? While he's out there doing all this, and kind of, learning what's what, he's, it all comes down to being able to generate your own power and understand it so you can fix it and you're not dependent on someone else. So he's looking for something that is readily available. All the technologies that we come up, we have a category on Freedom's Phoenix called off-grid living. If you go on the top navigation bar and you'll see, let me show you. Let me get this mic on here so I can take it over here. Let me go ahead and show you on those watching video. I want you to see this, how simple this is. When you go to Freedom's Phoenix, at the top navigation bar, let's go ahead and push this here. Right here, it says Archives. When it drops down, you'll see it says Contents listed by subject is the first one there. You click on that, and it has all the letters that begin with whatever, off-grid living. O. I click on O. I go to off-grid living. There she is. All this information on living off-grid, what kind of power, food, supplies, reference material, energy generation, there it is. And we have, how many pages here? 30, so that's like 200 articles. This has been accumulated over the years to be able to supply us. Now you can go to another category called energy. We're going to be spending a lot of time on generating power. One of the articles here we'll talk about today is on the generation of power using sun. And they call them heliostats or whatever it is there. And it's just amazing how much heat is generated, certainly here in the Southwest, when it's over 300 and something days of total sunshine. I used to remember clouds. The only clouds we get now are chemtrails. But, we'll talk about that another time. So we'll go into here. Here is the story I was talking about. Keep your nickels. You'll need them to heat, cool your house. What they're talking about is this nickel powder that they use to make this material. Now, this is a video that goes and it talks about this. Now, let me go ahead and give you some of the facts. Energy Catalyzer is the world's first commercially viable cold fusion reactor. The device has been tested for many years before being made public recently. This year sees a marked acceleration in activity as a demonstration of a 1 megawatt facility is being talked about for the USA, followed by the construction of a massive 1 megawatt facility comprising approximately, and it goes on how many modules and all this kind of stuff. They're doing it now.